Holy shit. All right, so there's got to be a lot of desperation going on here with Ellie.
Please be okay. Joel! Tommy!
We're making a lot of noise, but we don't care because we want to make sure they're safe. This is based on Ellie's reaction to Tommy and Joel not coming back. It would seem that this is not a regular occurrence. And the thing that Ellie's going to have to watch for is that she doesn't panic. So you want to keep calm. You focus on why you're here.
You're okay.
See, she's doing some self-talk, right? Like, you're okay. We're going to focus on our breathing. We're not going to engage with what ifs because we have no idea what happened. We aren't going to know until we find them. It is absolutely not worthwhile to engage in what ifs.
Joel? Tommy?
Shit.
Where is that coming from?
I hear screaming.
Joel. Fuck.
Oh, you gotta be careful not to put yourself in danger here, Ellie.
Get her down! Get off me! Get her hands! Get the fuck off me!
You got her! Look, you got her! Okay?
You're gonna fucking die!
What's going on?
Let him go!
Who is that?
Let him
She
go!
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here before the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot us. Joel, please get up. No! I'll fucking kill you. Ellie. I'm sorry. Jesse! They're down here!
Okay, so we're gonna take a second here before the cutscene proceeds, because obviously this is a ridiculously intense moment. It never quite get easier no matter how many times you see it. Okay. I'm going to kind of go through different things that I would hypothesize about and that we can use to kind of understand this context. And I'm actually going to start with Abby. Abby has clearly been chasing Joel down. We don't know why. We have no idea why. But she very likely has a reason for why it is that she has gone out of her way to kill Joel. And that doesn't justify it. But we are very connected to Joel. And we see this from Ellie's perspective. And it's horrible. And we see, so there's something new that happens here that I think Ellie sees for the first time with Joel that I imagine is probably 1B to the worst thing she could possibly see in Joel aside from him dying, which is that he gave up. Joel never gives up. Joel, every single time we've seen Joel, all the way through Last of Us 1 up through Last of Us 2, Joel fights and makes sure that he gets through whatever it is that comes to him. And Ellie sees him and says, get up, because Ellie's entire internal representation of Joel is that he's a fighter. He has to get up. It's sort of like when you see a parent who's sick and you think there's no way they can't be sick. You can't do that. It's not built into Ellie's psyche that this could happen to Joel. And she sees a person who has fought for her, has fought for himself, has fought for a bunch of stuff, laying there absolutely helpless with no fight in him. Understandably so. Not saying it's Joel's fault that he doesn't get up there. But she sees him. He just looks at her like, yeah, this is it. And I think Joel dies here having accomplished what he needed for himself. But I think the truly tragic thing here is that Joel dies and his last thought is very likely that he didn't protect Ellie and Tommy from dying too. Joel doesn't get to be alive to see Dina find Ellie. So there's a good chance he died thinking he failed Ellie. And that to me is profoundly sad. And if you're Ellie there, I think we saw a really cool representation of a trauma response. This is a trauma. We all just experienced this trauma along with Ellie. Her expectations of Joel and of life have been shattered here with the lost sense of safety and security. She's literally pinned down and gets hit in the face. And has to, and this is a violation of her expectations. And think about how horrible that is, given everything we've seen, that she's still capable of experiencing a trauma. And we see the sound go out, everything's muffled, she's hyper-focused on Joel. She is, in some ways, dissociating and in shock. And that's a trauma response. And what's happening in that moment is her brain is collecting every piece of information in that environment and is associating it with absolute danger, which then we would hypothesize that later on in Ellie's life, anything that even remotely sniffs of the circumstances surrounding that, down to what the weather is like, is going to be enough to elicit this response out of her. And if she experiences this level of dissociation, there's a good chance that all of this is going to come back for her. And Joel can no longer protect her from that. Joel is now intertwined within that, which means that Ellie's internal representation of Joel has been shattered, absolutely destroyed. We've just had basically everything from the first game blown up in our face in a very intense way. And we all just collectively experienced the same trauma as Ellie did. Now, the question becomes, what is Ellie going to do with this? I bet you there is some part of Ellie that's laying there wishing she'd have died too. Because now you want to talk about more survivor's guilt? Now Ellie is outliving Joel. We just saw her wake up. Now Ellie is going to have to process that on top of everything else that goes on. She just saw a person she probably never conceptualized as dying in the same way we idealize parents. She just saw that person die. That blows apart everything you ever thought about as it relates to mortality. And she is now left to pick up the pieces of that, which is the most unfortunate part about trauma, is that the people who experience trauma are left to pick up the pieces of the trauma. So this tells me that probably the remainder of this game is going to be a lot of trauma processing. And I don't know what Ellie's going to do. We're going to find out together. But this is a really intense moment, friends. It's a really intense moment. If you find that you're distressed right now and you're like struggling to put this together, I think that's the point. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this point. But a lot of folks got mad about the fact that Joel dies here. But I want to remind us, we have to put ourselves into this context. We have ruthlessly murdered tons of people up until this point. We have an emotional investment in Joel, but this is the world we live in. We don't live in a world where people have things like plot armor or special privilege or anything like that. Joel is just as susceptible to these kind of random occurrences as anybody else. And I think part of our devastation is the fact that we have to come to terms with that. We have to come to terms with the fact that this world that we are navigating doesn't owe us anything. It's not going to keep us safe. It's not 100% impermeable to this type of event. And I think a lot of us love the comfort of some level of ignorance of this. The idea that Joel couldn't die. The people that I love in real life can't die. Like that happens to other people, not me. This game's a very realistic representation of the fact that like life will hand you stuff with a cold, hard fist in a way that you don't deserve. And that's just how it is. And we don't like to accept the reality of that. That at any point, this shit could go away. For something as dumb as helping the wrong person escape infected. This is the world we live in. So remember that context as we go through the rest of the game. I hope we get to learn about Abby's motivations behind that. I really do. Joel saved her life. She killed him. Obviously, he's the person she was after. All right. So let's take a breath. And we're in this together, friends. I'm here to Sherpa you through this. All right. The game just got real dark, real fast, and we're here together for it. All right. This is a further addition to the first game's connection is antithesis to survival. Yes, I'm telling you, it's the grand theme of both games. I'm feeling heckin' bloodthirsty, friends. All right, so I actually encourage you all to take a second. Check on what your response to this is, right? Like, what does this make you want to do? It's information about you, friends. I'm not saying that you're a violent person if you want vengeance here, but like, this pulls real emotions out of us. You can learn something about yourself in this. And I want you to keep in mind what we were talking about earlier about like everybody has their reasons for doing the things that they do, and it generally makes sense to them. And sometimes that can be very hard for us to consolidate. I want to quickly also acknowledge, thank you for the subs that have come through and the follows. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for making it this far. I hope me processing this moment with you maybe helped you work through this, especially if you've seen it before. Here we go. Now let's find out what happens. I needed to pause there because I wanted to make sure that we debriefed a little bit on that. Here we go.
Hey,
Hey.
could I sit down, please?
Yeah.
Maria wants to make sure you're eating.
She can't stop us.
To have the guys that we would need to do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, but that's what's happening.
What if we get hit by hunters again?
Is this you talking or is this her?
That's a valid point.
If it were you or me, Joel would be halfway to Seattle already.
No, he wouldn't.
He absolutely fucking would be.
Well, we don't even know for certain that they're from Seattle.
Washington Liberation Front. That's what you said was on those patches.
What if they stole those jackets?
That's...
What if the WLF moved?
What are you doing? You know what? I'm leaving tomorrow. And if you want to come with me, great.
You have no idea what you're walking into. You don't know how large that group is, how armed.
I don't care. You can't talk me out of this.
Give me a day to talk to Maria. Okay? There's gotta be some folks you can spare.
And if she won't budge?
Well, I'll figure something out. One day. Please.
Fine.
Okay. Okay.
There's a lot being said and a lot not being said in that interaction. First thing that stands out to me in that moment is that both of them are having a very hard time making eye contact with each other. Humans experience eye contact as intensely vulnerable. And if there is emotional suppression happening, sometimes eye contact is enough to get a person into the thing that it is that is creating that emotional experience. And these are two people that have learned that vulnerable emotional expression is deadly. And you can see their conditioning happening here. They so badly want to look at each other and connect in this moment, but they also have learned through the last 20 years that to do that puts them at risk. And they don't know what they do if they just break down. They haven't had the scaffolding to learn how to navigate emotional vulnerability with each other. So these are two people that are doing the best they can. And we're seeing more survival versus connection here, right? Like Ellie says, let's go get him. Tommy says, I don't know that we can spare him. You can tell Tommy wants to. I'll bet Tommy wants to go after these people just as badly as Ellie does. I think you can see that. I think if he didn't, he'd probably avoid Ellie, or he would be a lot more cold. But you can tell that he wants to do it just as badly. But because he's got to think about so many others, and because he's got people he cares about outside of just Joel, he is walking a line. And I think probably is envious of the fact that Ellie has the conviction she has to go. But Tommy's thinking, I got bigger responsibilities than going after a giant group for one man. And Tommy is, and by probably more Maria, as a proxy, and Tommy's a proxy for Maria, is right. So now all of us are sitting with the same kind of intensity that Ellie and Tommy are, which is we want to get these people. We want vengeance, in part because we've learned up until this point in these games that vengeance is quite literally like the only way that you really make good on other people hurting you. Like, it's just this cycle of like, you hurt me, I hurt you. It's all we got. And so we all want this too. But if we sit and think about it, there's tension between what we want to do and what we should do. And if we equate going after these folks as being the thing that somehow honors Joel's memory, does it really? Arguably, no. Would Joel be halfway to Seattle? Yes. But also, Joel is a ruthless motherfucker. Joel does not hesitate. Joel is willing to just absolutely blow his way through armadas of people for his own personal convictions in a way that you rarely see a person do. Ellie and Tommy aren't quite like that, which is why I think this is a bit of a struggle. I also think that Ellie, this is a hypothesis, but I think Ellie basically wanting to go for blood here, wanting to chase after these guys, is Ellie trying to stay close to Joel. Because that's what she knows Joel would do. And if she follows through on that, she gets to feel and experience with Joel post-mortem that she wouldn't really get to experience if she didn't do this. And I think the vulnerability of sitting with whatever intensity that would bring from her, if she was to just stay in Jackson and mourn his death the way we would traditionally imagine that, I think is probably way too intense for her. In part because she's never had a caregiver that walks her through how to do that. Joel's not that guy. Joel never taught her how to do that. The only thing Joel ever taught her was suppress. So Ellie's never learned how to actually emotionally process this in any sort of meaningful way. And so, of course, she wants to go out for blood. That's what she's learned. But again, this is the world we live in. It is the world we live in. And finally, something that we would be hypothesizing from an attachment perspective is the following. Joel has become Ellie's secure base in some form or another, right? Like, he is the reliable person that she can go to in times of distress. And that got built up to a point that he's an internalized object for her, in a sense that she can rely on that internal symbol in times when he's not even around to draw strength from, and to see as reliable, and then to see herself as having efficacy in various adverse situations. Joel has now died. Joel is now somebody that she can't bring herself proximal to physically in times of distress, and right now is probably the most distress she's ever experienced in her entire life. And the one person that she would consider to be reliable in this moment, Joel, is not available to her. So we would hypothesize from an attachment perspective that what she's very likely to do here is to go inward and rely on that internal symbol of Joel, and by extension herself, to meet her needs. That she's very likely not going to transfer that into somebody like Tommy or Maria or anything like that. She's going to hold on to her internal Joel. And she's going to try to keep that as alive as best she can. And one of the things that revenge and the seeking of revenge sometimes does for people is it keeps that internal object alive for that person. So for as long as I'm chasing after the people that killed Joel, I'm keeping Joel alive in my brain, and I feel that emotional sense of stability because Joel is available to me abstractly. You want to use attachment to sort of make sense of how we might anticipate Ellie's going to go through this. That's it right there. Very complex stuff. And then couple that with probably more Survivor's Guild. Where does that leave Ellie's relationship with Dina? We don't know. My hypothesis would be that Ellie is probably going to push herself away from Dina. That Dina is probably going to try to bring herself closer like Tommy is, right? Like people are going to come in and they're going to try to show Ellie support. And I think Ellie's going to shove all of that away because she has not learned how to move that attachment. I think Ellie being more open to relationships with people like Jesse and Dina and Tommy and Maria and whoever else she's close with is because Joel is the stable base for her. She knows that Joel's available. Joel no longer being available because he was taken from her in a way that she wasn't anticipating and experienced as a trauma means she's very likely going to shove everybody off in the way that we saw her do in The Last of Us 1. I don't think that she's going to invite people in. I think she's going to see that as too intensely vulnerable. And if she lets other people take care of her, it's a reminder that Joel can't. Because Joel's not here. So anybody else taking care of her is now at the expense of Joel's ability to, and she's not going to necessarily be able to separate those things without some real significant time and help, which is also profoundly sad. Look at this. We've gotten, what, like 10 minutes of gameplay and cinematics? Look how much richness there is to this stuff. I mean, this game just portrays this stuff ridiculously well. Is that symbol in some way diminished due to the look of defeat? It could be, Ciora. That's the other thing, right? Now Ellie doesn't even hold on to Joel's as an internalized object, as somebody that is super strong and will fight to the very end no matter what. She had even that little bit of expectation of Joel taken away from her because she saw him give up, which means that there's some fallibility to him, which is realistic. It's a more realistic internalized view of Joel, but it's not one that really creates good survival from that standpoint, because she's seen a weakness in Joel, which isn't weakness, it's humanity. But oh man, it's going to be hard. Ellie's got a lot of processing to do here with very little resource to do it effectively. All right, so there we go. There's my analysis of this so far. There's a lot going on.
stop at his house before we leave. We just have to pick something up. Okay.
Oh, nice job, Dina. Nice job just letting Ellie do her thing. Sometimes, friends, the best thing you can do
Looks like Tommy took one. Matt Maria's got the stables locked down.
is just let folks process.
Fucking Tommy. We'll figure something else out on the way. A car or a horse or something.
Okay.
This makes getting to Seattle a lot harder.
Then it's gonna be harder.
You can still change your mind, you know?
I know.
Just don't want you to feel like you have to.
Ellie. You go. I go. End of story.
You need to get your backpack.
I hid it by the east gates. I figured we'd want to slip out that way.
My respect meter for Dina has gone up immensely here. Way to go. Way to play this cool. Like, you're physically proximal. You're not pushing intimacy. You're letting Ellie know that you're there. Mad respect, man. Because you gotta know, if she knows Ellie well, which apparently she does, based on the way she's responding here, is that Ellie is a hair trigger away from saying, fuck you, I want nothing to do with you. And Dina knows that. And so Dina's playing this real slow, real cool. She's showing reliability rather than saying she's reliable, which I think is really important. And this could be a very healing relationship for Ellie. That said, if it is a healing relationship for Ellie, that is going to make it all the more difficult for her to process the danger that they are potentially in by going to Seattle, which is why you see Ellie say, "You sure you want to do this? Oh, ye person I care about immensely and who is there for me in a way that I need. I don't know that I can handle you dying either, so let me project all of my worries about that onto you." And Dina just silently cuts through it and says, hey, I know, but I'm going with you. And I think Ellie appreciates that. It's a good assertion of autonomy for Dina, while also facilitating connection. Oh, wow. Holy shit. Oh.
Hey. What do you need? I can go get it.
I want to do it.
Okay.
I'm okay.
No, you're not.
Come on.
It's okay to admit it that you're not.
I'll hang out down here.
Thanks.
A plus, Dina. Oh my god, A plus. Oh my god. I seriously could not be more impressed. You're gonna let Ellie do it on her own. You're respecting Ellie's boundary on that, but you're also offering. Oh god, it's so good. Okay. To Joel from Ellie. Oh man. Oh jeez. Giants of the past.
Dino-Nicus. That was a good day.
Terrible Claw. If you were to visit Wyoming 115 to 108 million years ago, you might have the misfortune of running into Deinonychus. Standing about 5 feet tall, 2 feet long, or 11 feet long, this Cretaceous period carnivore was long considered to be a vicious hunter. Fast moving with a sickle-like claw on both hind feet, it would likely pounce on its prey and tear it into it while still alive. Much of this is speculation. It's not entirely clear how this theropod hunted, or even if it was exceptionally fast. Paleontologists have, as of yet, still not found a complete fossil specimen. When researchers are unsure about the missing pieces in the puzzle of what a dinosaur was, they fill in the gaps with similar dinosaurs that we do know more about from the same family tree. For instance, Deinonychus shares its family tree, Dromaeosauridae, with close relatives Velociraptor and Microraptor. The Dromaeosauridae, or running lizards, are commonly called the raptors. They are fast-running feathered theropods, found globally during the Cretaceous period. Feathers? For many years, dinosaurs were thought to be scaly lizard-like cold-blooded monsters, but fossilized theropods in the raptor family have been found with feather-like structures surrounding their bodies. So far, no remains of a Deinonychus with intact feather structures have been found. However, we can still extrapolate a very high likelihood that they had them due to the presence of these feathers in Velociraptor and Microraptor remains. You can see how complicated paleontology can be. Scientists in this field rarely have a full skeleton to work from. It's usually bits and pieces that they use to try to tell a whole story and build a picture of who these ancient animals were, how they looked, and how they behaved. As our knowledge grows, our picture changes. I bet you've seen lots of images of dinosaurs looking like scaly lizards. What do you think of the new picture we have? More bird-like animal covered in feathers. Learn more about our feathered friends in the Stairwell Feather exhibit. Right now, we're watching Dr. Mick delay leaving the house by reading through irrelevant materials in order to try to avoid the pang of grief he will experience when he leaves the house. Gecko, you are 100% correct. Yes. Walking into the house was hard, but walking out of the house is going to be even harder. And you will find that people delay that because she is, in her mind, equating being in this house to being with Joel. And when she leaves this house, she's leaving Joel and all of these symbols that she associates with them. So you are absolutely correct. All of a sudden, a dinosaur pamphlet becomes immensely more intriguing because it delays the inevitable, which is that we will have to leave this house. A wonderful observation, my friend, and I would expect no less from you. And those of you that have grieved and ever gone through a process like this have probably been in that exact kind of moment where you all of a sudden things start to become more interesting. And you might even wonder why. That's very likely why. Oh boy. All of a sudden, things that were once just things hold infinitely more sentimental value to a person because they become the objects that are tangibly associated with the memory of that person now that that person is no longer available. Whoa, shit. Do we have more? My mouth tastes like iron. Wounds break open as I sing. You were the soft twang of nylon, a smell of wood oil. Fretful. Guitar strings with iron sound brighter. They mistook your resonance and left me with rust. All I have's our last conversation, looking like a chord progression, harmonies and blood. Washington Liberation Front. Who are they? Tommy said her name was Abby. Is this why people keep boxes of leftovers from parents or family who left or passed, even if they're irrelevant? Yes, it is. People will hoard sometimes because of the sentimental value they attach. They transfer meaning into things. A lot of people think that to get rid of the things associated with a person is to get rid of the person themselves. The fact of the matter is that person lives so long as you carry their memory. And sometimes people think that if they stop thinking about that person, they're also forgetting about them. And that's not true either. Grief is a very complex process that humans struggle with immensely. And we do what we can to try to hold on to people and keep them around, especially if they were important to us. Even if that means holding on to an emotional experience attached with their last moments. Oh boy. All the promises at sundown, I meant them like the rest. Oh, man. So that looks like a guitar that is being built. Makes me wonder if maybe Joel was building that either for himself or for Ellie. It's a hell of a collection he's got. Man can work with wood. How about that? A lot of times, too, people will leave their rooms like this because they think that if they move it around, they're somehow disgracing that person's memory, right? But it can be really difficult to see unfinished projects by a person because it's a reminder that they're not here to finish them. Sometimes people find meaning in finishing those projects for them. Sometimes they find meaning in leaving them intact. A lot of times what you'll see is, especially like if parents lose a child, they'll close the door to the room, but they'll leave the room exactly as is. Because it's so painful to go into that room. And the idea of cleaning it is like cleaning that person out. Oh, wow. So Joel had this on display, which I think is really neat. Because I think it shows that he's willing to accept. Right? He was once a father, and that's a part of him that he cherished. I think when Joel buried that and wouldn't look at it, he was really, I think, taking away a part of himself. That whether he wanted to acknowledge it or not is true, which is that he was a dad, and he was a good one. And so, when we talked about Ellie's relationship with him being reparative, I think that's part of what allows him to have that picture on that stand. Is he is now able to remember that he was a good dad, and he doesn't have to bury that. And then we see a picture with him and Ellie, and he's got him on the same mantle, which again shows that, like, for Joel, Ellie was as close to a daughter as could be possible without being a daughter. At least by blood. But then, you know, that gets into the conversation about, like, choosing family, right? Like, he can take her on as a daughter even if she's not his actual daughter. And it's not replacement daughter, it's just another one. Oh, we gotta take that with us. Yep. Take his gun. Absolutely. We're not gonna take his pants, though. It's maybe a little bit much. Look at this. The man had surround sound in his bedroom.
Everything okay?
Be there in a second, Dina. Smell is a powerful sense. You got something that you can hold on to that has the smell of the person. It'd probably be a worthwhile thing for her to take with her if she had the room, but...
Maria, I'm headed to Seattle. I wish I could let it go, but I can't. I have to bring these people to justice. Ellie's gonna try to come after me, but stop her. Take her guns, lock up the horses, maybe lock her up. Buy me some time so I can end this. Love you always, Tommy. He's gonna get himself killed.
He should have taken me with him. You should have given us a group to go after those fuckers.
I wish I could.
You gonna try to lock me up?
I'd prefer that you stay.
That's not gonna fucking
I
happen.
prefer that you stay, but I know you better. You going with her?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna sneak out of here?
Yeah.
On foot?
Yeah.
I told the stable to let you out with your horse. Grab some ammo, too.
Thank you, Maria.
Just, do me a favor and bring my dumbass husband home in one piece, please.
Of course.
All right. Get going. You're losing light.
Oh, Tommy. Tommy's an interesting guy. Tommy turns shit down initially, but ultimately he gets into what it is he wants to do. Like, Tommy just sort of needs to bounce shit off of people first, and then he goes and does it. All right? We saw this happen. We saw this happen. This is what happened when we got to Jackson the first time. Tommy's like, no, I'm not going to help deliver to the Fireflies. And then he goes, yeah, I'll deliver him to the Fireflies. It's like Tommy just needs to hear every perspective, and then he ultimately goes, you know what? No, I know how I feel, and he goes with it. Now, that said, I think Tommy was taken care of by Joel for a long time when they were young. It's alluded to in the first game. And I think Tommy, without explicitly talking to anybody about it, including Ellie, has internalized a sense of obligation to Joel to take care of Ellie. I think Joel sees it as his responsibility to do the work for his brother to ensure that his convictions are kept alive by making sure that Ellie is safe. But what Tommy doesn't realize is that he doesn't know Ellie as well as he knows Joel. And Ellie ain't gonna fly with that. The idea that Ellie's gonna be locked up, no freaking way, man. No way. So he's kind of missing the mark there. He's taking it upon himself to go avenge Joel's death, probably with the thought that when he came back and told Ellie it was done, she would look at him and go, thanks, and she's safe. So he accomplishes two things. He avenges Joel's death, and he takes care of Ellie. I think the idea that he would lose Ellie in this process is way too vulnerable for him, because then he would look at it as if he let his brother's memory down, or he let his brother down. And I don't think Tommy wants that. So Tommy losing his own life trying to avenge Joel, Tommy losing Ellie in that, oh man. Because he knows that if he lost Ellie on the trek to avenge Joel, Joel would be pissed. Joel would go apeshit. So he tells Maria, lock Ellie up, because I can't deal with the idea that I would fail my brother in that way. And I think that's why Tommy did what he did. Whether it was right or wrong, I mean, I don't really think that's great, but I can understand why Tommy would do it. And Maria's just like, that's my freaking husband. Okie dokie. Because I think everybody, in their heart of hearts, I think everybody wants Joel's death avenged. But Maria is very rational and is like, we have to maintain this. We can't blow apart everything we worked for because we lost Joel. What makes Joel more important than any other individual here? Because Joel really had nothing to do with building Jackson up. Okay, so like you got to remember too, like Joel is not, I mean, he's significant to us because we've become emotionally connected with him, but he's just another person who lives in Jackson. So the idea that we're just going to like forego everybody else's safety to go get the people who got Joel, either we got to do a vote in the grand old city of Jackson where everybody votes, hey, are we cool with doing this and putting ourselves at risk? Or do we have to make some tough decisions here? We see, Tommy and Joel and Ellie acting on personal convictions. We see Maria acting on the convictions of the group in the same way that Marlene did back in The Last of Us 1. So again, the tension between people who care about everybody and the people who care about their own desires and needs is very palpable in these games. And I think it brings to light our own sense of, I don't want to call it selfishness, but like how important it is for us to get our emotional needs met, even if it's at the expense of the greater good. It's human nature.
This hunter was on top of him, drowning him, and Joel couldn't get to his gun.
Jeez. Were you scared?
Well, I didn't even think. I just ran in there, grabbed his gun, and shot the guy in the face.
How old were you?
14. How old were you when you first killed someone?
We talking infected?
No. Fully conscious, non-fungal person.
10?
Oh. What happened?
Guy was coming at my mom. I stabbed him.
Shit. You got me beat.
Yeah, I'm a real badass. So how lost are we?
We're not.
Uh-huh.
Hey, have a little faith.
So Dina's seen some shit too, huh?
What about those crazy cannibals you said you and Joel ran into? They came after you guys once. Maybe these WLFs are connected to them.
No. Didn't seem like the same group.
Maybe those black market smugglers back in Boston?
Do you not? Joel crossed a lot of people. I don't see the point in guessing.
Okay.
At least until we find out more information.
Yeah, Joel pissed off a lot of people. That's the other thing we got to remember, friends. We love Joel because of what he provided for Ellie, but in the grand scheme of things, Joel's kind of a piece of shit. Like, Joel really pissed off a lot of groups and killed a lot of people with reckless abandon. Like, he really did. We got to see a little bit behind the curtain here. We have a little bit more justification for it, but, like, it would make sense why people don't like Joel, and Ellie knows that, which is good. It's nice to see her acknowledge that. Like, we're trying to avenge the death of a man who pissed off a lot of people, man. Like, Joel is very hard to be sympathetic with. Outside of the fact that we have an emotional connection to him and what he did for Ellie. Right? Like, whew. Also, can we just talk about how freaking gorgeous this game is? I can't believe this game's on PlayStation 4. It is absolutely insane how beautiful this game is. The foliage in this and the fact that it runs at a stable frame is just... I don't know how you do it, Naughty Dog, but goddamn. Also, the fact that we managed to get a horse all the way to Seattle. We didn't run into any infected that we can tell. That's kind of nice. I'm glad we got Dina with us. That's awesome. Ellie doing this on her own probably... Honestly, Ellie doing this on her own probably would have been worse than Dina coming with her. I think Dina's a bit of a stabilizing
Ellie,
force here.
Cars. Yeah, I'm getting close. Start keeping an eye out.
Got it.
Oh boy.
we go.
Guess I was wrong. Turns out you do know where you're going.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but which way is Seattle? Like, I could completely screw this entire stream up by going the wrong way. Is Seattle to the right? Seattle is most certainly not to the right. Okie dokie. Seattle is to the left. Just follow the rain clouds. Ah, here we go. I-5, north of Seattle, baby. Boy. Well, let's go see if there's anything useful in this. Construction entrance. Safety is a priority.
Stay with Shimmer.
Yeah.
God damn it. Ooh, what have we here? Nice. Got a whole map of Seattle. You love to see it. You're right. You'd think, Martius. You'd think. What a dual shocking turn of events. Oh, this thing just doesn't hold its charge much anymore. I probably need to get a new one. Ooh.
Yes.
Another one of these. Love to see it. The Starfire Kids. When 14-year-old twins Emiru and Sora Hoshi found a meteorite in the woods outside Kyoto, touching it imbued them with both the power of astrokinesis, the ability to take starlight and turn it into energy. Taken into custody by the Society of Champions, Tesseractor mentored the kids on how to use their power safely and wisely, though his overprotective nature eventually drove them away. Now they live on the streets trying to find meaning and purpose in their powers. Ah, yes, when you overprotect to the point of diminishing people's autonomy, they will generally leave. Because caretaking also means trusting that people can take care of
Not an old
themselves.
tourist map.
Well, that's something.
Gotta give you props for being able to read something that small. I do what I can. Dauntless, thank you so much for the raid, buddy. Appreciate it. Those of you that don't know, I am affiliated with Dauntless Snacks. Go to Dauntless Snacks website. There's a link in the chat. Use code YouMatter at checkout. You get 10% off your order, and it also supports the stream with the best snacks that you will ever eat. It's a great alternative to Dr. Mick staples like Flamin' Hot Cheetos. But Jay, thank you so much for the raid, man. I really appreciate it. All right. Where are we going? Going this way, probably.
Sure seems quiet.
Yeah. Think about how well we hide our lookouts.
I know. That's what scares me.
Good point, Dina. Very good point. I mean, this is pretty scary. Like, I would think that at this point it's probably worth ditching the horse.
Whoa. Is that the QZ?
Yep. Watch the high spots.
Trespassers will be killed on sight. This is good. This bodes well. This bodes really well.
WLF. Trespassers killed on sight. That's friendly. At least we know we're in the right place.
Where is everyone?
They put up this sign. Means there's gotta be a way in.
Oh boy. I'd take this truck, but it only makes right turns.
Looks like there's some cracks up there. In the wall, up above. You see it?
Yeah. Not sure how we get up there, though.
WLF stands for Washington Liberation Front. I'm guessing it's probably some similar faction to the Fireflies. I have no idea. We don't know much about them. Other than that, apparently was the group that was there when and killed Joel. Ooh, nice. A hammer. I like that. God, this game's so pretty. Oh my god. Man, I bet this baby was the real deal back in the day. Come on, there's got to be something useful in here. When you get to the gate, look for a soldier named Kieran. Tell him I sent you. Then give him the kilo, and he'll get you inside the wall. Good luck. Kilo of what? Maybe we should have snagged some of that weed. Dauntless, thank you for gifting that sub to Blahman. Appreciate it.
Anything good in there?
Pretty picked over.
Patrol routes. Route 1. Pops and Chris. 2. Carla and Hooper. 3. John and Keen. 4. Seth and Connie. 5. David and Martin. 6. Kevin and Jamie. 7. Saul and Jean. Rations inventory. MRE completely depleted. Flour. 6 50-pound bags. We need to check the QZ Zone 2 to see if we can find any more. Canned tomatoes, 5 cases. Canned peaches, 2 cases. Cleared zone. Zone 1, no. 2, yes. 3, no. 4, yes. 5, no. 6, yes. 7, no. 8, yes. 9, 10, 11, no. 12, yes. 13, no. Fedra stages of infection. Infected stage 1. Cordyceps has taken over the victim's motor functions. Fast and agile. Stage 1 infected usually travel in packs. Do not let them swarm you. Infected stage 2. Uses environment to hide and ambush victims. Will frequently flank and attack from behind. Approach with caution and check your surroundings. Infected stage 3. Completely blind. Acute hearing. Uses echolocation to seek out prey. Keep your distance. Stage 3 infected are known for their ferocious attacks and are extremely lethal. Infected stage 4. Rare but dangerous evolution of stage 3 infected. Incredibly strong and capable of throwing acidic projectiles. Do not engage unless absolutely necessary. Jeez, man. Be terrifying. Be absolutely... I don't think we've talked about just how utterly terrifying it would be to live in this world. It would be awful. Knowing that there are... Think about, like, if you ever see videos of people trying to restrain one human. Like, it takes, like, 4 humans to restrain a human. And now you got, like, humans that are taken over by the cordyceps virus just running at you with reckless abandon. Like, good God, would that be terrifying.
Are these cages?
Holding cells. Soldiers had them in Boston, too.
Anything else? Imagine being the photographer who got those, right? All right, just hold still for a second, please, clicker. Just got to get your picture for informational purposes. Thank you. All right, let's figure out how to get up there. There's got to be some way. And we probably want to make the least amount of noise possible. Okay, so it seems like maybe over there is the way to do this. Oof. Sorry, Ellie. Is that the fungi that infects ants? Yes, it is. This is a human variant of cordyceps. Cordyceps is super fascinating. And I actually really love that Naughty Dog used that as the thing that infected people, because I remember learning about cordyceps for the first time before The Last of Us came out and thinking to myself, holy shit, that would freaking suck to get that. And thank God there's not a human variant.
Up here.
You got something?
Got a ladder.
Dina, help me up here.
Okay.
Boost me. Nice.
I'll keep an eye out. Just see if you can get the gate open from the other side.
Sounds good.
Anybody else nervous about this ladder based on our prior history with ladders? Our previous experience really opened us up to the reality that not all ladders are reliable. Isn't that fun? I love it. There's tension just based on our history. Oh boy. This seems like a hell of a jump here. Oh my lord. Oh, God. That's a broken leg if we miss that jump. But we don't need to think about that, do we? And here we go. Apparently up's not the way. So under we go. Okay. Dina, sorry. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Now, if you have a task in front of you, such as this, there is a tendency for humans to focus on all the things that could go wrong. You do not want your mental image in this situation to be all of the terrible things that could happen to you if you fall. So, if you have a task in front of you that's very difficult like this and you know you have to do it, here's a little tip from me to you. You focus on everything in the affirmative. I will run to the edge. I will push off with my right foot. I will grab that grate when I get over there, and I will pull myself up onto the ledge. And you take a second and you visualize that. You put that in your brain. The success of this jump. I will make the jump, launch off my right foot, land, grab, pull myself up. And you say that to yourself over and over until that image is clear in your mind. And you do not make this jump until it is clear in your mind. You build that image. If you build an image of, if I fall, my legs will break, that is the visualization you start to have, and you actually can bias yourself into that moment. You don't want to do that. The mind is very, very, very powerful in these instances. Here we go. Come on.
Ellie?
I'm good. Just almost died.
Almost, but you didn't. All right, Dina, see you later.
Where are these fuckers?
Okay, let's scout the environment here. We got anybody here? I don't see anybody. Good old Seattle. Well, we're in now. Oh, my lordy. It'd be awesome if one of these armored cars would run. All right, what do we got here?
Okay, how do I get you power?
Report infection. All persons are required to report any suspected infection cases to CENTCOM upon penalty of death. Jeez. Harboring infected individuals is a punishable offense. That makes sense, but goddamn. Regulations. You must not have any diseases or conditions that could be contagious or life-threatening. You will be required to pass a physical. The purpose of Form 714 Ration Perm Card is to identify permanently assigned or attached soldiers and enlisted personnel. All firearms are to be reported for usage to Armory. Only those with a Ration PEM card are able to check out firearms from the Armory. Movement to and from infected areas under something regulation 37-1 must be authorized by a unit commander. No entry unless authorized. Thank God I got this hammer, huh? Main gate 0512.
Okay, wonder when this was written.
North 01382. Over. Got a big operation coming up, and Isaac wants to scavenge any remaining supplies from downtown. Take any gas from the courthouse garage,
Base.
the
That's something.
dome, and take them to the safe house on the Saravina base. All right. Why is there so much cocaine in these drawers? That's just all people had? Like every drawer I open is just filled with cocaine. I mean, we were talking about kilos, so.
That's a generator.
Yeah, it is. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah. But I have no idea what that would have powered on, so. Got ourselves some rope.
Oh, shit.
Hey, don't electrocute yourself here, Ellie.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Seattle? Yes, twice. Yeah, I know where you are, Dina. I know exactly where you are. I know you're on the other side of that, and you're going to need to call out to me if you get screwed, but... Alright, what else do we need? Oh, what's this?
Hey, everything okay? What was that sound?
I got that gate open. Gotta figure out this one now.
Well, we believe in you.
Thanks.
Who's we? We? Who's we? I guess maybe she's talking on behalf of the horse? Dina and the Horse sounds like a good band name. Alright, so we gotta power this main gate here. More cocaine in the drawer. Okie dokie. So, there's got to be somewhere to plug all this shit in, right? Yeah, right here.
Needs juice.
Alright, so we got to get that wire. Look at her coil that up as she runs. You love to see that. My dad was the first person to go up the Seattle Space Needle before it opened to the public. That's pretty badass. I'm glad there's no OSHA. Because I feel like this is probably not OSHA compliant. Warning, entering a monitored zone, lethal force is authorized to enforce compliance in all situations. Damn. Come on, baby. Enter the passcode. Oh, Jesus. Which gate is this? Did I put it in my journal? No. Well, let's read our journal real quick. That's it. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When did we do this? Idaho Falls. Dina caught 3 jackrabbits tonight. She has these traps under... She has these traps her sister taught her how to build. They're fucking effective. My appetite hasn't come back yet. Trying to force food down. Good for you, Ellie. Twin Falls. Found a camp during the main highway. If it was Tommy's, he's probably only a day or so ahead of us. We're getting close to Boise. Dina's pushing to go around. I don't want to add 2 days to this trip. These hunters tried to ambush us. Fuckers didn't stand a chance against us. We were scavenging for supplies and I was looking at Dina. I felt a deep appreciation for her coming along. I really love her. Baker City. We saw a pack of wild horses today. They were skittish. Then Dina offered them some of the fruit we collected. They ended up following us for a bit. Wish I had a camera. I've never seen her smile so wide. For like half a day, I wasn't thinking of the WLF or Joel. Feeling guilty about that now. Ah. This is a common experience that folks have when they're going through the grief process. One of the most jarring days that a person can have in the process of grief is when they have either a day or a significant period of time where they notice that they did not think about the person, because people falsely equate thoughts of the person to being like to keeping that person around, and somehow they're forgetting about them if they don't. And a lot of people, like Ellie here, get distressed when they realize that there are things that can distract them from that. They think somehow it diminishes the power of that person, or that that person matters less, and that's not true. It's just you moving on. You're continuing, not even moving on, it's you continuing to live your life, because life does go on despite the fact that the person you love died. So I really encourage folks to look at that as part of the grief process, and to be very careful about the meaning you make of that. Because if the meaning you make out of that moment is that somehow you're forgetting about that person or they're not important anymore, really all you're doing is setting yourself up to feel pretty crappy about yourself. And you might start forcing yourself to think of the person in the ways that you know how, and you don't need to do that. It's okay to have moments where you don't think about the person that you're grieving. It doesn't mean you've forgotten about them. Struggling to sleep. I keep seeing him with his head ... Dina seems to be sick. I think she caught a cold. I feel calmer with her laying next to me. I want to do something nice for her. Yakima. Found another camp along the highway. Can't be sure it was Tommy, but we haven't seen other people in 2 weeks, so fingers crossed. She keeps drawing Joel with his eyes crossed out like that. She's having a hard time drawing... Oh, that's interesting. She's having a hard time drawing Joel's eyes. Look how she's... See how she's like trying to draw the eyes next to it? Eyes, by the way, are one of the facial features that really help us identify a person. And so she obviously wants to get it right. She wants to do him justice. Oh, right. passcode. That's why I opened this in the first place. Checkpoint gate codes. East 2, 5345, main gate 0512. I think this is probably 0512.
Yes.
What up?
Well done!
Shit.
Hey, come on. Let's get out of here. That crash was pretty loud.
Wow, we almost broke the horse's back doing that. Holy shit. We make a lot of noise, chat. We make a lot of noise. I'm not sure I'm fond of that.
Now what?
I found a note back there. Had some codes on it. Says there's a WLF safe house at some place called Saravina Base.
Saravina. So we find it?
Hopefully we find our first WLF. Get them to talk. Go from there.
Let's do it.
Hold on a second. Is there a way to get on the other side of that door? Might be some cool shit over there. Hey. Love to see that. Love to see it. And we're off. Go south on the 5. Oh, East Gate number 2.
Oh shit, look. Saravina Hotel.
Well, that's gotta be it. Okay. Let's find a way past this, fuck Fedra gate.
Very creative. Gets right to the point. Let's get closer and scope it out.
I mean, it really does seem like the Washington Liberation Front is similar to the Fireflies. Like, there was this whole movement where basically the military or some federal agency was in control of trying to contain all of this and basically had to make very hard rules. And there are humans that don't like having rules imposed on them. People who won't wear masks. And think that they are somehow being oppressed by the government when maybe they're making decisions to try to keep them safe. So the Washington Liberation Front seems to be a group of folks who decided, I don't really trust the government to get me through this and survive, so I want to do it myself. And then all that does is just make things worse for everybody. Federal Disaster Response Agency. Sergeant Ward, continued Washington Liberation Front disruption of our supply lines. In addition to infected attacks and spores infestation, means we're still unable to meet the weekly food distribution quotas. Thanks, WLF. Keep the city gates sealed to new entrants until further notice. To ease the burden on food stocks, step up your sweeps for criminals and expel. All Class 2 crimes now qualify for expulsion. We're running out of time. My friends.
Idiots. Just turning everyone against you.
Oh. During times of crisis, you need clear and direct leadership. Chaotic leadership is terrible for groups of humans. You need clear messaging, clear expectations, clear boundaries. Sometimes that means that some of your liberties are taken away for the greater good. How selfish do you have to be to create a group that now basically fucks the supply lines for everybody else and basically causes all sorts of issues for people that you're theoretically trying to protect? I mean, we saw this kind of awful entitlement with folks who just won't wear a piece. We have people in real life who won't wear a piece of cloth on their face. Imagine being in this environment with non-compliant folks. Holy shit, man. Well, this is already plugged in, so I guess we got to turn the... Let's pull the generator, huh?
Okay, here we go.
Come on, baby. No gas. Okay.
It's out of gas.
God damn it. Well, what do we do now?
Oh shit. The note.
What?
The note mentioned that there's gas in the courthouse garage and the dome.
All right. Courthouse garage and the dome. So what's the plan for finding these places?
We ride around and see what we see.
You think Tommy came through here?
He did.
What was that noise? You can't stop my spore huffing freedom, right? But gas masks are itchy on my face. The straps are too tight.
So, where are we?
Hold this to access the map.
Pretty sure we're here.
Ah, nice. I'll mark it
Cool.
as we go.
Dude, Dina, why didn't you tell me you had that kind of magic touch? So we need to go... Let's just go exploring.
What the hell happened out here?
I'm guessing the military bombed the shit out of this place.
Why would they do that?
They would sometimes destroy parts of the city that were lost to the infected. Or to rebels.
That seems like overkill.
Well, it usually worked.
On the infected or the rebels?
Both.
Shit.
Believe me. You're lucky you didn't grow up in a QZ.
I'm starting to get that impression.
What would have happened if I'd stayed? I'd probably just become one more asshole soldier.
No way. I can't see you taking orders from anybody.
Yeah. Good point.
Except for Joel.
I was expecting the Seattle QZ to be a lot more occupied.
Yeah. Maybe they're all hiding at the Saravina.
How many WLF do you think there are anyway?
Well, at least 8.
If we're lucky, that'll be it.
We'll be fine. We should stay alert. Stock up while we can.
Worst part about masks and helmets is you never grow...
Whoa.
This guy was an officer.
Traveling in a ration truck?
Trying to hide, maybe?
Unsuccessfully.
Yeah, sure looks that way.
Oof. Worst part about masks and helmets is you'll never grow facial hair back properly again in spots, aka you're set with no issues. Thank you, Sura. I appreciate that reminder. Thank you very much. Haha, Dr. Mick can't grow facial hair. It's true! Take that! Appreciate you, man. Everything is in place. We will be waiting.
Oh, man.
Once we intercept the convoy and take the Fedra officers captive, you can abandon your post and join us. I know you've taken numerous risks and lived in fear of being discovered. Your loyalty to our cause is appreciated. Isaac. Oh my God. All right, let's soak the map. Anything good over here?
Ellie, I think Shimmer's getting sick.
What? How can you tell?
She sounds a little hoarse.
Boy.
Come on, that was a good one.
This is the time for jokes, huh? Okay, we're telling jokes.
I think I found the courthouse.
How can you tell?
See that sign up there? On the building that says courthouse?
Oh,
Oh, wow. Nice work, detective.
Mm-hmm. Mark this place on the map.
what have we here?
What have you got there?
Colin, I heard another rumor that the Westlake Bank...
What is it?
Says there are supplies at some bank.
Might be worth checking out.
I heard another rumor that the Westlake Bank has never been searched. If that's true, then it would be filled with more pre-outbreak supplies. I say we go for it. If there are enough weapons in there, I know some guys that we can trade with for safe passage out of this hellhole. Come on, man. I don't have the balls to go in there by myself. Aaron. How are you planning to send that letter? Like, why not just tell that dude? I'm terrified of elevators. I'll be taking steps to avoid them. That's good. That's good. I like that one. Good joke. I guess we have carrier pigeons to deliver this stuff. Like, Rustin Coffee. Nice.
Wasn't Joel all about coffee?
Kidding me? He'd trade half his stuff for a bag of beans.
I never got it. Tastes like burnt shit.
Thank you. Acquired taste, my ass. Whoa.
Big blue trading card. Big Blue is an extra-dimensional entity who has taken over the appearance of a blue whale. First arriving on Earth over 1 billion years ago to keep watch over nascent life forms, they use their infinite well of knowledge to help guide the human race in times of great need and upheaval. Their unfathomable age has one major drawback. Days appear to pass as microseconds. However, this time dilation effect is offset if they hold their breath, which they can do for several years at a time. Damn. That's cool. So one thing that we're seeing in terms of like contrast between Ellie and Joel back in the day is that Ellie is obviously willing to talk about and process to some extent Joel, which I think is a testament to the relationship and connection she has with Dina. It's obvious to me that she's transferred maybe some form of attachment over to Dina, and as a result feels safe to talk about Joel and is willing to open up that vulnerability a little bit, which I appreciate and I think is probably going to be better for Ellie in the long run. Because rather than stuff all of it and say, I don't want to talk about it, she's openly willing to talk about it. I'm not saying it's necessarily better, but I think from like a processing standpoint and really paying attention to what it is you're trying to accomplish, talking about Joel and not just talking about the moment where he died helps keep his memory diversified, because sometimes there's a tendency for us to put too much stock in the last moments of a person and we forget the complexity of who that person was leading up to it. So these little moments in terms of talking about Joel's love of coffee helps us re-engage with that. Which is why when people in chat suggest that like somebody in their life died, like when you guys tell me somebody died, I ask you if you have a favorite memory you'd like to share, because I think that's really important for helping us carry the way we've internalized a person after they're gone. Hey, Davis, check our old WLF safe houses for supplies. Probably a long shot, but every little bit helps. Grab what you can and meet us back at the Servina. Don't worry about the gas. We'll take care of it. Mike. Man, I love breaking glass. It's satisfying, man. Oh boy. See, I would be inclined to have my mask on at all times here. It's like, what happens if I open this door and there's spores? Ah!
Heads up!
Or a runner.
Yeah.
How do they get inside these places?
I don't know. But I hate that shit.
It's not my favorite either.
What's this?
Barcodes.
It says Barco's on it.
What do you think it's for?
No clue. Let's keep an eye out.
900 Marion and
Might be worth
6th.
checking out.
All right, we got a key to a place. Neat. Man, there's a lot of stuff to explore over in here, huh? Huh?
We cleared this place out.
I think so too. Let's cross it off the list, huh? God, it's so satisfying. I probably shouldn't make noise. Don't make more noise, Ryan. Hey, Chad, I'd like to use this as an opportunity to say thank you for being here. I appreciate you all very much. Thanks for taking some time out of your Wednesday night / Thursday morning to watch my stream and to support what I do. If you're watching me on YouTube, thank you for making it through the playthrough. Thanks for watching my VODs. I hope by now you've liked and subscribed. One of the coolest ways that you can support my stream and what I do is to tell folks about it. If you think what I'm doing is cool, get more people to enjoy it along with you. I really appreciate the shares on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It means a lot to spreading the word. I hope that this has been an enjoyable run for you and that my analysis adds an enjoyable layer of depth to a very cool game. I don't know how we get in there.
Hear that?
I hear it. Infected.
It's coming from the courthouse. This is gonna suck, isn't it?
At least we're ready for him.
This is indeed going to suck. If there are infected in there. Another bag. Gavin. Derek got into some business with a broken window last week. He would have lost his damn leg if we hadn't rushed him back to the Saravina. I went ahead and stashed some supplies at a couple sites downtown for any future emergencies. Broken legs, infected, Derek, fuck-ups, whatever. Since you're going that way anyway, can you resupply the stash at the West 2 checkpoint? Gate hasn't worked for years, but the combination is the old code for West 2. Allison. Good to know. Got a lot of stuff here. Freaking Derek, man. Sounds like Derek was a pain in the ass. A pain in the old behind, you know? Okay. Another day in paradise. What a nice drawing.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. And there's just more people trying to survive. At the end of the day, we were all in this together. Shimmer, you move too much.
Jotting this down.
What have we here? Nice hat, brother. Oh, it's an old scanner.
Haven't seen one of these in a while.
Place the tip of the device against exposed skin. Push the device firmly until it clicks. Hold in place for 3 seconds. Observe reading on central display. And those things got a lot of people found out and killed.
Looks like that's everything over here.
We got a workbench, though. Stability's done. Recoil. Capacity. And I feel like capacity's probably the better one. As much as I want recoil to go down. Cool. Actually, nope. I want to go across that bridge. I want to go in that building over there. Let's go. Another music
This must
shop.
be the music shop.
Man, imagine this place when everything was intact.
Probably
Got a bunch
pretty
of
awesome.
records here. The sleek habit.
The sick habit.
Close enough.
Okay. We only listened to it like 100 times together.
I was only listening to it because I thought you were cute.
Pearl Jam. That's actually kind of cool that they got Pearl Jam in here. kind of good stuff we got in here? I feel like, so I know that the pacing of this is pretty slow, but like this would be what you would do. Like we would pick this place clean and try and carry as many supplies as we possibly can, because you never know when you're going to have an opportunity to get more. Plus it gives us, you know, something to do that isn't just, you know, going full bore all the time. Like it's nice to have purposeful, relaxing like
check this
activities
out.
to do. Don't, Dina, no.
Oh, wow. That was an interesting beat.
Excuse me. I am a natural. Admit it.
I love you.
Whatever. We're starting a band.
How about you be my groupie?
You're what?
Well, okay. Bands apparently had these hardcore fans that would just follow them around.
Isn't that what I'm already doing?
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw it. I don't know, man. Whatever. Hit the drums. What do we got here?
What was that?
Nothing.
Well, nothing sure sounds nice.
Remember that night by the bonfire?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that song would be hard to play, man. But that is a cool way to keep Joel alive. Really cool way to keep Joel alive by having that song that he taught her. All right, let's see what we got here. The guitar physics of this are insane. And if you're ever curious, you can look up, well, don't do it yet, but you could play actual songs on this.
Talking away. I don't know what I'm to say. I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for you, love, okay? Take on me. Take me on. Slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me. It's no better to be safe than sorry. Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. In a day or two. You should have kissed me then. I wanted to.
Me too.
All right. We should keep moving.
Yeah.
So badass. I love that moment so much. I love it. Very cool way to keep Joel alive for her and to facilitate a connection with Dina. I really wish I could put that back in the case. All right, so I can change key here. All right, here we go. You ready? Anybody know what song that is? By the way, you can find tons of YouTube videos of people playing different songs on guitar here. Let's see. Yes, Uncle Bill. A little comfortably numb action. A little B minor. Oops. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Wish I had strings I could pluck and she'd play it, but some people have gotten ridiculously good at that. There we go. We got a little Pink Floyd for you. Let's get out of here.
I don't think there's anything else in here.
That was cool. 900 Marion and 6. This is the dog place that we have the key for. DMCA is coming for that
Oh
cover.
shit, I got it.
Just a chord progression.
Let's see what we got in here. What the hell is this place?
Some kind of WLF something.
They think we're sheep. Bare your fangs. Oh my god.
WLF Propaganda. Reminds me of the Fireflies in Boston.
In New Mexico, we had these guys called the Ravens. Protectors of the Constitution, they called themselves.
Oh man, this hits a little too close to home. Oh no, Dina. Dina, what did you want to say to me? Join the Washington Liberation Front. Ugh, man. You're not sheep just because you follow rules. It's okay to have a critical eye for authority, but...
What's this?
Here's their plans to hit that convoy.
Man, the WLF just wiped the military out. Way more successful than the Fireflies ever were.
Yes, I did, Super Chip. What do we got here?
Score.
The stun bomb to stun multiple enemies. Finish them off with strike attacks. Interesting. We got here, we got pet supplies. What is this?
Goonie and Ghost would have loved this.
What is this? Oh, a short gun holster. Sick. Oh, that's huge. What's up, Dina?
Who?
They were these feral cats I had before I came to Jackson. But they didn't seem to want to leave with us, so I miss those scratchy little shits sometimes. You have any pets?
Nah, was never
Where are
really
you
my
going,
thing.
Dina?
Well, maybe when we're done with all this, we can get a nice little creature to take care of.
Alright, deal.
All right, so it was useful to come in here.
I think we got everything here.
Okay, so we went in. You like how I have a map and I'm not looking at it? Let's climb this. The cats are actually the final boss, yes. You can kill infected, but can you take care of a cat? Oh, good.
Here we go.
Well, this just got fun. Oh, God. It's just awful, man. Holy shit. Dina, get out! Ugh! Oh, shit. That runner's not... not stationary. That runner sees me. This ain't gonna be fun. Okay, that's a clicker. Nice and easy. Put her down. All right.
Runner.
Oh shit. Got one clicker, we got a runner. Here's the clicker. The clicker goes in this room, we're gonna take them out. They really do, right? They look like they're in so much pain. They really do. Like, this just looks horrible. Like, I can see why people would want to, like, kill themselves if they got bitten by infected and they know it's coming. Like, it's not like you can interview an infected and be like, hey, does it hurt? Like, you just kind of have to assume that it's awful. I know I wouldn't want it. Look at this thing. God damn. Feels good to put them out of their misery, man. Like, we're doing these people an absolute service. Like, think about that, like, you know, like if you have like a dog or a cat, and that dog or cat was even a fraction of as miserable as these humans are, you would absolutely euthanize them. And so I look at this the same way. Like, this is brutal, but it's quick. And there's no way it's more painful than what they're dealing with while they're alive.
Is that it?
I think so.
Go team.
Let's find that gas.
Yeah. I wonder what it was like to serve on a jury. Bet it was fun. Sit down, look at evidence, try to tell if somebody's lying.
Just give me 5 minutes and my knife. I'd tell you if they were lying or not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know that Ellie's wrong. Any gas in here? If I was gas in a courthouse, where would I be?
Hey, little help?
Coming.
Seats that have been farted on for years. Yes. Yeah, that's the kind of gas I'm looking for.
You ever been to a courthouse before?
Nope.
You're telling me you never got in trouble back in Boston?
Oh, I got in trouble, but never landed in a courthouse.
I mean, was due process even a thing in Boston? It seemed to me that due process was just like kill people because they're a liability to resources. You know? Yo, Widgie, what's up? Hey, everybody coming along with the fabulous head widgeon. Hello, I'm Dr. Mick. I'm a licensed couple and family therapist. I have a PhD in human development. This is Game Sessions with a Therapist, where we use cool games to illustrate psychological concepts in an effort to educate the masses about stuff that's usually locked behind paywalls. We're currently playing The Last of Us 2. I ask that you not spoil a game. It's a spoiler-free run. Also, I know this is a very polarizing game. I'm here to say I do not care how you feel about the game, whether you like it or not. We will have a processing stream after we finish the game. But if you're going to hang out here, please, 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 no spoilers, nothing that even remotely sniffs like it. And also, I don't care if you don't like the game. It's okay if you decide you don't want to hang out here because you either don't like the game or it's too intense for you. I totally understand. It is an intense game. It's very violent. If you need to take care of yourself throughout the playthrough, by all means do so. Personally, Radical Punk? No. But I've been involved in that process with other folks. If you've never played it before, speculating is cool. Yes, I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that, so long as you've never played it before.
Parking garage.
But the gas is in there, right?
Well, that's what the note said.
Well, let's get down there.
Okie dokie. Benny. The Washington Liberation Front is winning. The city's going to fall any day now, and unless you quit Fedra, I can't keep you safe. Up until recently, I could almost understand why you stuck with them, but after the Thursday Market massacre, I don't see how you can call us misguided killers with a straight face. These people were just trying to get food for their families, and today they started banishing people for sedition? That's a death sentence. Listen, you still have time. I will vouch for you. Meet me by Rust and Coffee at 2 a.m. on Friday alone. Please show up. I know it's scary, but it's the only way. Your friend, Sandra.
Brought it on yourself, I guess.
Oh, man. Room is locked. Hit window with hammer. Easy. What's this? Prep, a survival guide for the silent majority. Oh, Jesus. I don't even know that I want to read that. Hey, we got another safe. Pretty much full on supplies. Ooh.
This might come in handy.
Machete? Hell yeah. And a note. Memorandum for Fedra Central Command.
Say.
This guy was a Fedra commander or something. They were losing to the WLF and trying to escape.
How big is this group if they were able to beat the army?
You don't need a lot if you're that vicious. We need to be careful.
Let's just be smart about it.
Okay, Jesse.
Just a little quip, little pet peeve of Dr. Mick's. When you have something to read, make the dialogue happen after you're done reading. I cannot stand when I go to read this stuff and then they start talking while I'm trying to read it. It drives me absolutely up a wall. Like, just code it so that they talk about it after you put it away. All right, end rant. Memorandum for Fedra Command. Subject, Seattle QZ compromised. Attention, Captain Paul Douglas. Despite our best efforts, the Seattle quarantine zone will fall to the terrorist group calling themselves the Washington Liberation Front. We underestimated their capabilities and lost key sites around the city. We have executed our contingency plans and are prepping to escort key personnel out of the QZ 24 hours from now. I intend to stay until the last officer has escaped. Let the record show I provided for this city and its citizens as best I could. They are now freed of us and are at the mercy of the WLF. Let's see how they feed and shelter a community of thousands. Let them deal with dissent among their own ranks. Let them deal with those religious fanatics. Inevitably, someone else will come along and hold them accountable for all their perceived wrongs. I almost wish I could be there to see it. Lieutenant Carmelo Torres. Another one. Stop turning the flashlight on. Known.
What's that? Old to-do list.
Anything else you want to say, Dina? Known WLF agitators. The following people are our top priority targets for anti-terrorist operations. Emma Patterson, smuggling, falsifying ration cards, acts of sedition. Jason Patterson, smuggling, acts of sedition, acts of terrorism. Marcus Wilson, smuggling, acts of terrorism. Luis Sanchez, smuggling, acts of terrorism. Isaac Dixon, murder of a Fedra officer, acts of terrorism, acts of sedition. Hugo Gonzalez, distribution of anti-Fedra propaganda. Allison Cole, murder of a Fedra officer, acts of sedition. With the Pattersons and Sanchez gone, Dixon has moved in to fill the void. He is now our top priority target. Sergeant Ward. Reminder, all items confiscated from suspects should be placed in the office lockup. The code is 860722. Wow, that was hard. 860722. I'd hardly call this a safe.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So it seems that Fedra had domestic terrorists on their hands. At least that's how it reads from their perspective.
Careful.
Thanks, Dina. Wasn't planning on being careful unless you said that. Oh boy. This does not bode well. Oh shit. Nice shot, Ryan. Jesus. Oh, Dina, that was a ballsy shot. Oh. God, they are so much harder to hit in this game than they were in 1. It's the strongest clicker I've ever seen.
I think that's all of them. Those Fedra guys never even made it out of the garage. Damn.
Oof.
Well, let's find that gas.
Let's find that gas indeed. Let's get the hell out of here. There must have been people that were locked down here and basically got turned because they were trapped. Anything else good down here? No? Hey, how convenient that there's a gas can.
Here's our gas. Oh, come on.
Come on, baby.
Empty.
Seriously? That giant tank?
Yeah. Just tapped out. Well, let's try our luck at the dome.
Now, how do we get out of here?
Oh.
Probably the doors, Dina.
Dina.
Coming.
Come on!
Okay, let go.
Good job, babe.
Thanks.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Cross the courthouse off the list.
Let's go find the dome. It might be worth grabbing some supplies before we press on.
I would agree.
Hey, you nervous at all?
About?
After everything we found out about the WLF, they seem more organized than I expected.
Doesn't change anything for me. Just means we have to be more careful.
At least they don't know we're coming for them.
Exactly. We're gonna be okay.
I know.
I like the mutual reassurance they provide for each other. Like, it gives a nice little ping pong effect of, like, they each feel comfortable enough expressing some level of vulnerability in what they're afraid of, and they get a little bit of reassurance from each other. So it basically says to you, hey, it's okay.
Hey, that building's got something on top I'd call dome-like.
It says, hey, it's okay. You're allowed to be nervous about something, and also, we're not going to overly dwell on the danger that we're in, because if we do that, it's probably going to paralyze us.
Ration distribution center.
In Boston, we'd line up for blocks. And the food sucked.
I'd go crazy.
Some people did.
Before we go in there, let's get some supplies. Nothing. Just a bunch of file folders. Alright. Hey, those of you that stuck through the raid and just everybody that's here, thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all very much. Boo Girl Blue, thank you for the resub, by the way. I don't know if you're still here, but I hope you are. I have to say, I have an immense amount of respect for Dina and for Ellie. Like, I really like their relationship a lot at this point. Dina has been exactly what Ellie needs.
Somebody was camping here.
Looks recent.
Think it was Tommy?
Maybe.
It would have been nice if Tommy could somehow leave some sort of mark that tells us that it's him so that we know he's okay. There's no way Tommy didn't think that we weren't going to come after him, man. Like, he had to have known that we are absolutely coming for him. There's no way Maria was going to listen to him and lock him out. What's up, Jareth? A tank. Hell yeah.
I've never seen one of these in action.
Yikes. These guys had a bad day.
What is it?
Burnt skeletons.
Oof. Not how I'd want to go out.
Kind of like those astronauts.
What are you talking about?
One of the early moon missions, there was an electrical fire and the astronauts burned up in their capsule.
Well, at least they died for something worthwhile.
Exactly. These guys were just assholes killed by other assholes.
Ellie seemed more reserved with the idea of dating Dina before what happened to Joel at the beginning of the game, but now she talks to her as if they're in an official relationship. Could this be because Ellie is latching onto her as part of her coping with Joel's passing? Potentially. Yes. There could be a component of that. However, I am hesitant to say that the relationship with Dina is purely based on the fact that Joel passed, because I think that takes a little bit of the autonomy and credit away from Ellie and her ability to make decisions about what relationships she wants to engage in. But absolutely, right? Like, Dina was already starting to become more and more important to Ellie, and it was clear that Ellie liked her. And Ellie being in a vulnerable position, I'm surprised she let Dina in. My hypothesis would have been that she'd have pushed her away, but I think it speaks a little bit to Ellie's emotional maturity and the fact that she did internalize a secure attachment figure with Joel to be able to see relationships as potentially reliable. So Ellie moving some of that over to Dina and allowing Dina to take care of her, I think is a really big deal, and I think is a sign of Ellie's emotional maturity. So I'm sure there's some part of it that factors in, but I don't know that I put all my stock in it. And there's intimacy that comes from being on a shared journey like this with real significant purpose. Roger, following up on your fight from last night, I hear your concerns and understand your reluctance, but listen, we've thinned Fedra's numbers. Many of their soldiers have joined our fight, and knowing they plan to sneak out through the tunnels, we have a rare opportunity to deal a final blow to Torres and his thugs. If we let them regroup, then how many of our men will die? Our own have to come first. You know that more than anybody. I'm glad you're asking these questions. They're questions leaders wrestle with every day. I'm proud of the growth you've made, the soldier you've become, and the leader you'll be one day. Isaac.
Kinda sad.
Ugh. Yeah, there's like sort of like a weird like grooming-ish aspect to that. People just looking for groups to belong in and survive when shit hits the fan. You prey on the vulnerable and the scared if you're the WLF. Help them see themselves as, you know, either oppressed or give them something to target their fear at, and they will fight against it. And people know this, and that's how charismatic leaders form rebel militias. Did they have a fight about a pregnant woman taking this journey? I have no idea what you're referring to, Radical Punk.
Should we go
Not so
explore?
far.
Your call.
I mean, the only person we know of, like, I mean, that Owen guy said that that Mel chick that was in Abby's group was pregnant, but I don't know that Ellie and Dina would know about her. The opportunities for grooming during turbulent times is one of the most scariest
cool.
features of all. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit, we might get crushed anyway.
Relax. It's probably been like this for years. It's not gonna collapse today. I think.
Not a fan.
What happens when people start starving? Surely survival comes first. Yeah, but I don't know how those two things are entirely connected. Checking. Like, I mean, yes, people are going to have limited resources, and if people enjoyed robust resources before something like this, and those resources get pulled, yeah, I mean, people become animals when they're hungry, for sure, but I don't really know how following protocols to keep yourself safe from infection has anything to do with food. Right now, if the powers that be are restricting food in an unfair way, where you can see that the powers who are restricting it are gluttonous, then yeah, you're going to rise up against that. But if it's equal distribution and people just trying to ration it for the greater good so that everybody's got a little bit instead of some people having a ton and others having nothing, I mean, you're doing the best you can. The problem is you see a lot of times in these types of moments like the Fireflies and the WLF, where it's a lot of really entitled people who join these groups. And then they prey on other people who don't actually benefit from the group. Right? Who probably benefited from having the resources spread out. If that makes sense.
Shit.
God damn it.
You want to bail on this? Your call.
No, Dina, I don't want to bail on this. I want to knock these guys out. I want to kick ass.
Wearing body armor.
They are wearing body armor. I don't like that. Oh, this is tricky because we've got runners and clickers. Dina, get out of my way! Oh my god. Naughty Dog, come on, man. How do you not fix that from the first game to the second game? Absolutely freaking obnoxious that Dina can get in the way like that. All right, we got to get that runner. It's a really interesting point, Marty. It's kind of funny how pretty much every zombie game movie, you never see infected try to kill each other. Like, how could they differentiate others from regular people? In some ways, it asks, like, it sort of begs the question, like, when people are infected with cordyceps, is there still some level of sentience? Because, yeah, right? Like, why, if this guy was hungry, why wouldn't he just attack these other clickers? Oh, shit. All right, so far so good. Pheromones? Interesting hypothesis. All right, nice job, Dina.
Okay. That's all of them. God.
Well, we found the bank.
Actually, wasn't bad.
What's with the body armor? They don't look like soldiers.
Yeah. Not sure.
Well, I mean, the WLF could have got armed for sure. They could have got armor and stuff. Oh, they were playing Payday 2. All right, Vault 602306.
I think these body armor guys were trying to rob the bank.
Oh shit. It's like that movie.
Which one?
The one with the surfer bank robbers.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
Change of guard every 2 hours during the day, every 4 hours at night. This is a very sophisticated plan. All right. L drops off NKB, hit front door at 0100. L drives back, NKB hit security. N front door, K back door, B vault. NK watch security, B gets vault, NKB meet L out back. Damn. Full on heist. Looks like it didn't really work out for these guys. We're in a bank vault. $602306.
Here we go.
I do not find these safe sequences to be fun. Just have Ellie do the safe code automatically. We got the piece of paper with it. Why on earth am I the one doing this manually? Dude, I'd be propping the shit out of this door. Like, there's no way in real life I walk into this door without this propped up. No chance it's closing on me. You imagine. Give me that. Hell yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Love me a shotgun. Look at all this money. Hell yeah.
Look at all this money. The bag's full.
Man, if we were back in the old world, whew, we'd be rich.
Yeah, we would. Fuck this. I wasn't even supposed to be here. Fucking Neil roped me in. Said the police would be too busy chasing all those sick people running around. Said this place would be easy pickings. So of course, those sick fuckers showed up and everything went to shit. Pulled one of them off Kyle and nearly lost my arm with all the fucking bites. And then my own guys lock me in here. The cops will get here soon. If I go down, then my friends will go down with me. I'll tell the newspapers, tell everyone on TV that Kyle Peters, Leon Travis, and Neil Grant are motherfucking cowards. I feel really fucking weird right now. Sweating like a pig. Arms all red and black where I got bit. Can't keep my thoughts straight. Oh shit, is this how it happens? Am I turning into one of them? Fuck that. If I'm going out, I'll go out like a fucking man. He must have shot himself.
They tried robbing the bank on Outbreak Day.
Probably seemed smart at the time.
Wow. Oof. Let's get out of here. Had enough of this bank. What? What?
Over there.
Where did they come from? There was only one path in. All right, we got a runner and a clicker.
I think we're done with this place.
Agreed.
Oh, nice job, Dina. Hey, my girl. That's what I'm talking about. Dunzo. I also like that you don't need
Hey,
breakable
if you lived in
ships.
the old world, what would you buy with all that money?
I don't know. Maybe a big farmhouse?
But you can get a farmhouse now.
Okay. What would you get?
A space shuttle.
Oh, that's right. Your astronaut thing.
Hey, it's cooler than a farmhouse.
A farmhouse is way more practical.
All right. Let's take a look at our map here. Seems like we got a few more places to explore.
That place was crazy. Well, we got a shotgun out of it, so not complaining. Okay, let's head to the dome.
Not yet. Let's see what else we got over here. That's where we came in. We explored over there. Let's go out onto this little outcropping here. Anything good over here?
Military got their ass kicked here.
WLF. These guys don't fuck around. Whew.
Nothing.
Dude, easy jump. Don't worry.
Got it.
It's in my blood, so. Man, check this out. This thing's a relic. There we go.
Hey. I'll take an axe. I don't know who needs body spray in a time like this, but apparently me. All right, now how do I get back over there? Like this? Is that my first death in the whole game? That stupid ass jump? Are you kidding me?
This thing's a relic.
It's a long walk home for Dina. God. Oops. Can't make that jump. Thought I could. Can't. Holy shit. There we go.
Ellie?
Yeah? Do you know what you're doing?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm just going down a rope, Dina. It's not that hard. Didn't you die in the mall? We haven't been in a mall in Last of Us 2.
Got it.
Anybody else think that little thing right there was a machine gun? I thought that was like a machine gun sitting on the ground. Should have played I Believe I Could Fly. I really should have, man. That would have been, that'd have been good. God damn it. What a stupid death that was. Alright, we're good. Like it never even happened. Alright, so where haven't we been at this point? Have we explored everything? Seems to me that we have been in every building. But maybe this one? We went up here. This is how we got into the courthouse. And we can't get into this building. There's nothing really there for us. I mean, okay, we are there. Looks like if we go north to Madison Street, there might be something we haven't explored yet. So let's do that. I just want to make sure we clear this place out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no gas yet. I mean, our map suggests that there's something here. Are we able to get into this checkpoint? Oh yeah, we are.
Where are you going?
There's something back here.
use gate code. Gate West 2. Good, another safe. Love that. West 2, 0451. But that's... Oh. Cool. Look at all
That was
this.
some good stuff.
Nom 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 nom. I'm glad we did that. Get another card. Flow trading card. I don't want to build stuff. Come on. Come on. Flow. Graduating at the top of her class from a prominent sci-tech university, Olga Kuznetsova was recruited by the Russian government to further their research into dark energy. Fearing the tech would be used for war, her attempt to sabotage their experiments resulted in her consciousness fusing with the water vapor. Now she's able to channel her soul into any body of water and conjure objects from any form of water so long as there is moisture in the air. Damn. That's cool. Okie dokie. That's taken care of. Looks like we are probably good to go into the dome. I don't think there's anything else for us to explore. Come on, Dina. Let's go. Alright, doesn't look like there's anything over there. Looks like we got to get in through this little door here, so let's do it.
Fuel distribution. Here we go.
Fedra secured the shit out of this place.
Boston always had food shortages. Hungry people get desperate.
Yes, they do. Alright, let's try to go up that ladder first before I go through here. Up we go. Private Miller. We got fresh intel. There's an active WLF hideout on Spring and 5th. Grab any available soldiers in your sector and head to the hideout ASAP. Execute any suspects, secure the location, and await my arrival. Sergeant Ward. Okay. I think we probably already went there. Nothing over here. Alright, let's get out of here. What are you doing, Ellie? Let's go.
Can you get through?
Not a very secure
Okay.
gate.
Shit.
Stay low.
Gotcha. You going to get the other one, Dina? Nice. Love it. Nice job.
Nice and quiet.
Yep, just the way we like it. Let's go up here. All right, let's get the runners. Easy. Let's go. Get her down. Good. Flickers look like they're relatively stationary, so we just got to make sure that we get this runner. Alright, we're gonna chill here until he comes back this way. There we go. Have you considered going around and not killing them all? It's too much of a risk. Absolutely not. Plus, I'm putting these people out of their misery. To me, it feels... To me, in my opinion, it's more humane for me to take these people out than it is to let them go around being awful. Right? Like, there's... If I can take them out, I'm taking them out. I have a humanitarian mission, and I also don't want the infection to spread. I mean, the whole point of us going out on patrol back at Jackson is to take them out.
Cleared this place out, right?
Maybe they didn't make it to this spot.
Maybe. Let's find that gas.
How the hell did Tommy get through here? Right, like, I can't risk making a noise in here and then having that runner get all pissy and then come in from behind us. Like, I gotta take out the known quantities. Oh, baby. What's this? This place looks relatively clean.
Ellie, this place is a synagogue.
How can you tell?
One, there are menorah decorations on the wall. It's a Jewish thing. And two, I didn't burst into flames just now, so...
Burst into flames?
It's just a dumb joke.
Oh, unlike your other ones?
You shut it. This place brings back a lot of memories. My sister used to drag me to a synagogue all the time.
You never struck me as much of a believer.
Nah, but I like coming from a long line of survivors.
You mean after Outbreak Day?
That, and the Inquisition, and the Holocaust. My family always made it out alive. Barely.
See what we got in here. Anything?
Okay.
All right, come on, baby.
Gas.
Please, for the love of God, have gas in here. Also, it's pretty impressive that they managed to get an entire gas tank into this synagogue like this. Come on.
All right.
Come on.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, language. This is a house of worship.
We got some gas.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Figure out how to get out of here.
Do you still pray?
Sometimes.
Really? When?
I said one when we left Jackson. I said one at Joel's grave. Sometimes I just say little ones to myself.
Does it help?
I think it calms me. Helps me put things in perspective. It's a way to deal with grief. A way to show respect. It's what I know.
Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. All right. Now let's grab this cart. People turn to spirituality and religion a lot of times with things like death because it gives some meaning beyond, you know, this once you die, you're just dead. And for some people, spirituality is a way to have some form of like doctrine around death. It's a way to hold people like in your heart in a certain way. Sometimes it's a way to, you know, like for people who believe in things like heaven, it's this idea that people still live on after death. And people will hold on to that even if it doesn't seem like it would be a like rational idea in a time like an apocalypse, because human beings need meaning in the things that they do. And if the reality of it is shit hit the fan, people are dying, and this is a relentlessly cold world that doesn't give a shit about you at all, not a very fun reality to live in, even though it may be the realistic one, right? Like, people want to have comfort, and sometimes you have to drum it up for yourself. And having a form of doctrine can be a way to do that. And as long as you're not shoving that in people's faces and making it other people's problems, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's okay. If you need what you need in order to survive. And for some people, that's spirituality.
What's this?
Oh, this is the Torah.
The what?
It's scripture. It's like a Jewish Bible. My sister would have flipped for this. The one we used in New Mexico was half burnt. All right. Well, at least I didn't just chuck everything.
Now, obviously, spirituality is important to Dina. You know, she's got a level of reverence for this stuff.
Bet I can get to the other balcony with this.
Here's hoping this is a secure rope. Oh boy!
Ellie, careful.
It's okay. It's holding.
Let's go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nothing to it. Come on, Dina.
Right.
First, let's go in here. Into the rabbi's office.
$57.74. Are we in the future?
No, doofus, that's a Hebrew calendar. For the new year, my sister used to give me an apple dipped in honey. Ugh, now I'm craving it.
Oof, that does sound pretty good.
Jewish holidays are all about food. And celebrating not getting annihilated by our enemies.
A long line of survivors.
Exactly.
Absolutely. God damn it. Ah, come on. When I think about him, all I see is open skin, slack jaw, insides out. I won't let her remember me that way. I'd rather die alone. Oh, man. Ellie trying to take care of Dina by thinking about making sure she doesn't die in as traumatic of a way as Joel did for her. Now, I'm not saying that Ellie's going to necessarily resent Joel for the way that he died, but you might see that's maybe a little bit of the anger with the grief there. A little bit of anger. How dare you leave me like that? It's totally plausible that a person would think that. All right. Of course it comes in at like a very sentimental time. Was he with you in the end? More than I was with him. Beyond faith in pain, I want faith through pain. So part of the way that we might think about this is that Ellie probably lives with a significant amount of regret that she wasn't able to save Joel. And she may, as many people do when they go through grief, is overly taking responsibility for circumstance. There's no way that Ellie was going to know that they were going to get ambushed by a group of people that were going to kill Joel. Like, the idea that that was on the table, I think, is a little bit ridiculous. So for her to try to take responsibility for this, I think is a bit of a misplaced narrative. You were absolutely with him, Ellie. Unfortunately, you were with him in the worst of ways. You were with him in a way that he thought you were going to die too. His last thoughts were probably not about, I'm going to die. It's, oh shit, she's going to die too. Because the last thing he saw was Ellie pinned to the floor by the people that were killing him. Of course he's going to think that they're going after her too. And unfortunately, there's nothing she can really have done to change that for Joel. And that's probably going to sit with her for quite a while, this idea that she couldn't change Joel's last moment and representation of her. That's a burden to carry. Big time. And the truth of the matter is, no matter how much you try to go back and rewrite the past, you can't change it. You have to accept that the past happened as it did. You can learn from that. Too many people spend time thinking about the ways that they could have changed the past, and you can't do it, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you ruminate on it. There's nothing you can do to change it. You can only change the decisions you make in the present, and that will influence the future. Lieutenant Jones. 70 years ago, my grandfather fled Germany with his family as World War II began. He escaped thanks to the kindness and bravery of a Polish family. And so the wheel turns and the cycle continues. Tonight, my family has packed our belongings, and due to your kindness, we will be leaving this city escorted by your brave men. Thank you for helping me preserve what we could of our Shoal. It is difficult to leave our home behind, but in the end, it is people, living people, that matter. You bear a heavy burden on your shoulders, and I hope our late night talks were of some comfort to you. If I can leave you with one thought, for every turn away from a better world, there is a stronger connection toward it. Do not lose hope for the future. As the old saying goes, it takes but one candle to dispel the darkness. May God watch over you always. Rabbi Ziva Saunders.
I hope you got where you were going.
Me too, man. Me too. There is seizure, but I do not do it because I like to read the actual handwriting. It's more fun for me. But there is an option for that, yes. This game is loaded with awesome accessibility options.
Onward, Shimmer.
All right. It seems to me that we've done all that there is to do. Let's get out of here.
How you doing back there? Getting homesick?
A little bit. You?
Same. Just having a roof over my head.
You know, I've always dreamed of fixing up a farm just outside of Jackson.
Why wouldn't you stay in town?
I don't know. I like the idea of real space.
Sounds lonely.
Only if you're doing it alone.
Okay. So are we gonna, like, raise sheep and milk cows?
Are you making fun of me?
No. It actually sounds kinda nice.
Really?
Yeah. Really.
What about forgetting the past or trying to forget it? Is it healthy? It depends. Compartmentalizing the past, making sense of it in a healthy way, and then filing it away can absolutely be adaptive. But suppressing it when it's very obviously still affecting ones, like when it's still affecting somebody, and not using the past to make better decisions in the future, arguably suppression at that point is not healthy because you're maybe doomed to make the same mistake again if it happens to be a mistake or something like that. People find ways to file things away in their brain in a way that allows them to be as present as possible. Like, I think the ideal is to try to create a circumstance where you can be as intentional about the way that you navigate the present as possible. And sometimes that means filing stuff away. Sometimes that means acknowledging it for what it is and allowing it to just have some space. It just really depends. It's hard because it depends on the memory, depends on how it affects a person, etc., etc.
Wow.
All right, let's get out of here.
Haven't found any of them yet.
Hey, it's a big city. We barely started looking.
Yeah, I know. Just thought we'd see one of them by now. Here we go. All right.
I got it. You put in the code.
Hey, these old generators are pretty finicky, so it might take you a few tries of... Oh.
Sorry, go on.
Nothing.
East 2. $53.45.
It worked.
Well, no welcoming for me.
Or they're just waiting for us.